Good morning, y'all. We are live this morning. It is Wednesday. Sun is shining today. It's a little chillier than normal here in Alabama for this time of year, but sun's shining, and that's all I can ask for today. I see some clouds in the sky, but it's awesome. It's going to be a great day. All right. So we are live on Facebook and on YouTube this morning. So if you're joining us live, let us know where you're joining from. All right. So we are adding on some areas where we can go live, and I'm loving it because it makes it so much easier. All right. If this is your first time joining us, my name is Allison Baggett. I'm the owner of the Art Studio. We are a creative art studio located in central Alabama in Montevallo. So if you are from this area, give us a shout out, say hello. We come on, I try to come on weekly just so that we can create and have some fun and talk about upcoming things at the studio, things that we have going online. And today we're going to be doing some chalk pastels. We're going to be making a donut today. And so if you have a friend who would love to see this, if they have kids or if they're an adult who wants to, just be creative and have some fun, let them know about this. Show them this video. You can do that by clicking on the share button and letting them see this. So we're going to get started here in just a second. We are going to be I'm just using some Bristol paper. You can use whatever you have around. You just don't want it to be like super slick paper because the pastels have to have something to hold on to. All right. I'm also using chalk pastels. You may see these called soft pastels as well. They're a lot like sidewalk chalk. But they are so much fun to play with. They're messy, but they're washable. So if they make a mess all over you or your clothes or your table, you can easily wipe these up. They're not a problem to clean up. So these are a lot of fun to use and to have some fun with. All right. This is what we're using in our Art Studio Kids May box. So they are going out later this week and will be in their hands starting the 1st of May. And so they're going to get 3 lessons because one of our lessons is a 2-parter this month for the month of May. So they're going to get several lessons that are going to be loaded into our website. And so this is kind of what one of those lessons is like. This one will be a bonus for them. So if you're in our Art Studio Kids classroom, this will be in your library once we get it loaded and get it ready to go. All right. So, like I said, we got our paper, we got our chalk pastels. That's really all you need because we're going to use our hands to do our blending and all of that. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get started with just drawing out my my donut, and I'm going to actually slide these off to the side so that I have plenty of room. And what I'm going to do is I want to draw. Let me get my paper. I've got 2 pieces of paper. I don't need 2 pieces of paper. There we go. All right. So what I want to do is I want to draw kind of an oval, but I want it to be kind of a squished oval first. All right. So what I'm going to do, and that's one nice thing about chalk pastels, is you can do, you can draw very lightly, and this will help you with kind of getting your shapes and all of that situated. But then you can blend in other colors, and so I change this shape if I need. Ever going to know that that line's there. All right. Let's see. So next, what I want to do is I want to go in and kind of draw where my hole is going to be. And so what I'm going to do is draw just kind of a flat U right there. All right. And then I'm going to kind of draw in where I want my icing to be. All right. So I know my icing's not going to be that color, but I'm just going to go ahead and draw that in. All right. So next, I'm actually going to go ahead and fill in this bottom half down here. Now, I'm not filling in every little square inch of this. I'm just going to make sure that the whole thing has color on it, but I'm going to go back and blend this with some other colors So I don't really have to worry about covering the whole thing right now. And what I want to do is, I don't really like the way the bottom of this is shaped. I want to square this off just a little bit more. So see how those lines just kind of disappear from where I did that earlier? We're going to go in and change the shape of that. All right. So I am making sure that a lot of this area is covered, but I'm also going to come back in with some other colors. And so I don't have to cover every single thing. All right. Now then, let's see. What do I want to do my icing in? I think I'm going to do strawberry icing. So I'm going to come in with, I've got just a nice bright pink. So I'm going to be using that. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to color in just like I did on the bottom part. I'm going to color this top part in with this pink icing. All right. Now, I've got a big area right here that I want to cover. So what I want to do is make sure that I'm using the side and not the end of my pastel. And that's going to cover a whole lot more space for me in a shorter amount of time. So what I'm going to do is cover all of this. Now, I'm not going over my line for the middle where my hole is, but I am going to go right up next to it. And then that way I can blend up to it. And then I can also blend in some other things to create shadows and things like that. All right. So we have the base colors for our donut on here. Now I've created some dust. What I'm going to do is just take this and I'm going to tap, tap, tap on the table, get all that dust off, and then it goes under my paper. So when I'm done, all I've got to do is wipe up the table and it'll get all that dust off. All right. Now then, I want to come in with some darker, like reds. I've got this kind of dark pink color, but I think I'm going to come in. I've got some reds and things like that that I'm going to use to create some shadows. You could also use purple if you wanted to do that, and even some blues. So let's see. We're going to do some sprinkles on this in just a minute too. So we will get that going as soon as we're done with all of this. All right. And then for my shadows with my donut, let's see what we want to use. I do have some black. Don't know that I necessarily have something darker than my brown that I used. So we're actually going to kind of do the reverse. We're going to create highlights with lighter colors and let this brown create our shadow. And then we're going to use some gray and some black to create a shadow on the table. All right. So here we go. All right. Let's see. And then I may use some white later on to create some more highlights and things like that, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. So I'm going in first with this darker pink color. And we're going to just see how it goes. I really like that. So I think I'm going to stick with it for my shadow color. All right. And I'm just creating like an oval right here just to create that shadow. Now I'm going to come in and blend that in just a minute, and you won't see that harsh line necessarily. And then I want to come in and I'm just kind of drawing in some lines under these little drips right here. Okay. And then I think I'm going to leave that. All right. I'm going to do all my blending at one time so that I'm not getting this all over my fingers and then having to go back in and color it in. All right, so that already is looking like a shadow. What I want to do now is come in with this lighter color. And if you are using colors of chalk pastels that you've used before and you got a lot of other colors on these, all you have to do is get a piece of paper, just kind of have a scratch piece of paper around, and you can just clean these off and get the pure color back on there. Okay. They're going to clean off really easily. And you just don't want to do this on your paper that you're working on. All right. So we'll just leave that off to the side. I did do 2 pieces of paper. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm thinking about the area of my donut that would like stick out and you would see more light hit. So what I want to do is just kind of come in, and underneath my drips right here, I'm not going to see a ton of light. But if I come in like around the middle right here, I'm going to see a pretty good highlight more than likely, especially if it's got some glaze on it. I'm going to see a really good highlight right there. All right. So I know that looks funny right now, but when we get ready to blend, it will be just fine. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I think I'm actually going to come in with, let's see. I think I am going to come in with this red and just try it and see what I think about it, as a shadow. So I'm going to just very lightly draw a line. I kind of like that. All right. So I just drew like a really light line around the outside. And then I'm just going to do a small line under here because I don't want that to blend in with my icing on my donut. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I do have a little bit of chalk pastels on my fingers, but I don't have enough that I really need to clean them off. What I want to do now is go in, because my pink is brighter, I want to blend it first. All right. So I'm just going to take my fingers, and I'm using just my pointer finger right now. And if I have an area that doesn't get covered enough, then I'll go back in and grab some pink. And I'm probably going to have that same issue over here too. So I'm just going to go back in and kind of fill in this area here. And I just want to start blending that in. Okay. All right. So what I'm doing, is just blending in the pink. And as I get close to these other colors, I'm going to start with blending those in too. Okay. But I can kind of go fast and furious with, like where it's just that one color by itself. But when I get to the areas where I have shadows, I want to slow down a little bit. Okay. Because I don't want those to disappear completely. I want them to blend in, but still be prominent. Okay. Meaning that they're going to be, they're going to stand out still. So I just want to slow down just a little bit when I get to those areas. And you can already start to see how that looks like it's a shadow. Okay. They've blended in. They are, they're meshed just to one color. And now I can go back in and start working on other areas. All right. So now I do want this little area blended in just a little bit more. Okay. So that it looks more like a donut. It does look like icing. Yeah. It's crazy how before you blend all this together, it just looks like it's colored like crayons. But when you start blending it all together, it really comes together and creates the shadows and the shapes that you need. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right. I'm just going to kind of wipe my hands off. I've got paper towels close by, but I think these colors are similar enough that it won't matter if I get a little bit of pink in the brown. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back in and we're going to blend that brown and that yellow and create the donut part since we've already done the icing. All right. Now, if you are like me and I have fat fingers, and so sometimes I can't get in these little nooks and crannies like I want to, but you can use something like a Q-tip, and that will help you with being able to get into smaller areas, because you could take the cotton part of it and kind of twist it and like fold it over and make it smaller if you need to. You could also use makeup brushes if you've got, like little foam makeup brushes. You could do that. And so what I'm doing now is I'm coming back. Remember, we put that red in there to create that shadow, and that's creating the shadow underneath the icing. So it's blended in with that brown. And I know you probably thought, what in the world is she putting red on that brown for? But it really does blend in nicely. I could probably go back in and add either some pink on top of that area right there, just to make it where it blends in and there's not a space, but I may leave it. We'll see. All right. Again, when I was doing the bigger area, I wasn't really taking my time so much. Now on this one, um, I am going from side to side just so that I can get that highlight look in there. But I wasn't really like slowing down to get that one. For this edge, I do want to slow down just a little bit just so that I can blend that in. And I'm actually going to go back in with some brown right here because as yummy as this looks, it's getting a little bit red. And so I want to make sure that I keep that brown color, but I don't have too much red in it. All right. So we've got this going right here. I'm going to fill in just a little up under here, just because we've got kind of an area that it's not really defined as to whether it's icing or it's donut. So I want to make sure to do that. All right. So there we have the base of our donut. So I'm going to tap off my dust right quick. And then, and if you notice, I've got fingerprints all over. I've got fingerprints all over the edge of my paper, but this easily cleans up with an eraser when you're done. And then you can actually spray these and they will not come off. You can get like a fixative spray, or if you're not working like on a piece that you would sell, like cheap aerosol hairspray works just as well. So you could do either one. All right. So now we're going to come back in and do some sprinkles on top. Actually, I think I'm going to go in and do some highlights first. So I'm going to just grab some white and I want to come in. I've got a space right here that I didn't really color in. And so I'm going to just kind of come in and do some white right here, just a line or two. And then I can kind of blend that in. You can see how that just changes everything with this. I'm going to come in over the shadows that I created right here. And then I'm also going to kind of come back on the opposite side of where I did these shadows. And we're going to make that icing glisten right there. All right. And that creates some really cool shadow or some really cool highlights, not shadows. All right. So now I'm going to come back in and do the same thing here. And I'm just going to blend that in really well. I don't want it to stand out quite as much on the donut itself because we've already got that yellow spot right there in the middle. And that really is what makes the highlight on that donut. So we are going to move forward with our sprinkles now. So I am going to just come in. I'm finding like a sharp edge on and just kind of making some small on this and creating my sprinkles. So you could do whatever colors you want to. I've got a really pretty bright blue right here that I'm going to use instead of that darker. And you can make this as yummy as you want it, add as many colors of sprinkles as you want, and make it whatever flavor you want. So you can change the icing colors. You could change, whatever you want to change, you change. You don't have to do it exactly the color that I have done it. So we're just going to keep adding this in. Let's see, I think I need one more down here. All right. And I think that's all the colors I want to add for this one. So now we need to create a shadow on a floating donut. We want to make sure that we're getting a good grounded donut. We want it to look like it's sitting on our table. So what we're going to do is I have gray and I have a black. I'm actually going to go in with that black first. And it's going to go right up next to my donut, okay, with this line. I don't want to go far away because I don't want it to be dark all over. I just want it to be super dark right there next to my donut. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to add in some gray right here. All right. All right. So now when we blend this in, that black that we used is going to create the shadow that grounds this. And then this gray, we can kind of pull out just like this. We're going to come in and this black line kind of cleans up the bottom of our donut. Because remember, it got a little bit messy. And then I'm just going to pull out this gray. So I'm kind of pulling down, and then I'm also going to go across so that it's not kind of just, hanging out down there. I want to go across to kind of smooth it out and make it appear as if it's sitting on this table. And you can even go like up the sides a little bit just to kind of create some of that shadow a little bit more. All right. So now I can tap all of the dust off. And I have a really cool chalk pastel donut. It looks real. It looks edible. I have blended all of my colors together. And so these look like you could just pick it up and eat it. It looks really good. All right. So we are, like I said, we are doing this in our May box for Art Studio Kids. If you are interested in joining that, we are having so much fun in there. April was painting. May is going to be outdoor. May, June, and July is going to be kind of our summer camp in a box. So we have a couple of different options for our boxes this summer. You can either join the monthly membership and keep doing it even after the summer's over. You're never obligated to sign up for any certain amount of time. When you do the monthly, you can cancel at any time, and you have it for that month, and then you're good to go. But we have a summer camp in a box option where you get May, June, and July, and you sign up, you pay for all 3 months, and then you're done. Like, you don't have to pay anything else. So you'll get those 3 months, and we're going to be doing a lot of fun outdoor, messy kind of projects, but we figure, summertime, kids need to be outside. They're going to have fun. Let them be creative, and let them be creative outside and have fun. Make that mess, make those memories. And kids learn so much from being messy. There's so much developmental that takes place. Sorry, words are hard this morning. So much that happens developmentally when they make messes and they learn from those messes. And I know messes are hard sometimes for us mamas because we are the ones that normally have to clean those up. But that's one of my biggest things is messes can have boundaries. They can have limits, and they can have consequences, if you need them to have that. So if you are interested, we are definitely rolling out our May boxes this week. So if you are wanting to jump in on that summer camp in a box, you can do that until the end of this week, because we will be sending those out, and we'll get yours on the way. All of our lessons are loaded on our library, so you are more than welcome to do them at your pleasure, at your leisure, at your convenience. They are not live classes like these are on Facebook, so you don't have to have a set schedule. You can do these when it works for you and your kids. All right. And so if you are looking for a great Mother's Day present and you want to give a mom a break, let her have this membership. Give this membership for her kids, and let her have a break while they're entertained and doing something fun and creative. All right. So if you're interested in that, just go to artstudiomontevallo.com/ask, and it's all capital letters, ASK, capital A, capital S, capital K. All right. And I'll put that link in the comments as well so you can see it. We also, I have a really fun event coming up that I wanted to tell you guys about. We are doing my business neighbor and I, Casey at Montevallo Makers. She has handmade items that local artists have made. So there's jewelry, there's furniture, there's artwork, there's all kinds of stuff. It's amazing in there. And we are starting a monthly event called Middle Street Market. It will be, there's a grassy area called Owl's Cove right here behind our businesses. And so we are going to be having a vendor event each month from May through August, and I will see how it goes from there. But we're going to be doing monthly vendor events. And so come out. We're going to be open from 10 until 2 each of those Saturdays. So May 8th will be our first one. And this is a great time for you to come get a Mother's Day gift because Mother's Day is May 9th this year. It seems a little early, but the way the months, the way the Sundays fall, that's when it is. All right. So come out. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to have lots of vendors, lots of fun things going on. This will be our very first one, so you get to be a part of it from the get-go. And we're just going to have a lot of fun and showcase and help out some local vendors and local artists so that they can sell their wares and you can benefit from their talents and their gifts. So join us May 8th. We will be here from 10 until 2 that day, and just come on and have some fun. All right. You guys have a great Wednesday, and I will see you next time.